Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name's Josh. Thanks for joining me today. Well, we're talking about Matt and Abby today. They did a podcast with Brooklyn and Bailey, and a lot of people said, you gotta take a look at this. And I just quickly cursory glanced at their channels. It looked like these were children who were exploited by their parents, but not as a family vlog, if that makes sense. I don't know anything about them, but apparently they talk about growing up on YouTube and exploitation. They get into it, and apparently Matt does a little shout out to me or something like that. Some people were saying. So let's blind react to this super long video because they are always so long. And Matt always shows his legs for some reason. But let's get to it. Okay, so this one's about Brooklyn and Bailey, and Brooklyn and Bailey have 7 million subscribers. It looks like they might be twins. We are two twin sisters who just vlog their life and share it for y'all to enjoy, to the tune of 1.6 billion views. So these kids and their parents have likely made millions of dollars on YouTube. They started 2010, so they've been going 14 years. So they literally grew up on YouTube, basically. Their oldest video here was 10 years ago and has 3 million views, and it just goes in the Beatle rap, Teen Girl Tour, and it's just basically two kids who grew up on YouTube from a young age, from middle school, right? Their most popular video is favorite character, Polar Plunge, Brooklyn and Bailey challenge videos, just nothing crazy. 71 million views of them doing a polar plunge. And then Incredibles, Everyday Super Fails. Something happened 6 years ago that was trending, and they did it. Getting it, like, obviously the top of their videos is getting our wisdom teeth out, going to the dentist. And so people are going to watch that to the tune of 25 million views. Okay, identical twins switch places with Bailey's boyfriend. Stupid, but 22 million views. Basically, it's almost like a Piper Raquel style thing, but with sisters instead, right? And they probably had their first dates on here, their first kisses. I don't know, their periods. I have no idea. I don't know who they are. Day in the life on my period. That's only a year ago, so it's not terrible. We tried different period products. So, I mean, they're adults now, so doing it at this point, but 6 years ago, periods 101. So 6 years, I don't know how old they are, but it looks like when they're really young, they talked about the periods. So their parents likely did all this. I don't know. I'm just guessing. So before we get into it, we can just a cursory look at who they are, and then we can take a look at what they have to say. So let's get it. Dudes, get ready.
This is very controversial, I feel like. But we actually, I had him sign we signed prenups. It's not controversial. Sign prenups. Well, some people protect your assets.
We'll get to that in a second, because I got something to say about that.
We've had 2 really bad stalker stories. I had to get police involved. And for some reason, I'm still sitting here, nervous to talk about it. I'm still oh my God, what if this has, repercussions? But you know what? This is the reality. This is what happens to us.
You guys didn't take your...
I hope they get into the reality, but why do you have your mic stands like that, Matt? Get wrecked.
His last name.
I didn't make him give up his last name. He didn't make me give up my last name. My degree is in my last name. Everything is in my last name. There really isn't any reason for me to change it.
We'll talk about that too.
What's up, dudes?
Ugh. That's the stupidest phrase ever, and they put it on a shirt. It's stupid. It's stupid.
And welcome back to the Unplanned Podcast.
That was the most lively one yet.
Okay, your mic stands are wrong. Yeah. If you're going to bring people on your podcast, get the equipment that you need to do it. Okay? You guys are millionaires. Buy a couple extra mics, okay? Or get people some lav mics. Don't be so amateur.
First podcast with 6 people. Can we just give it up for that?
Give it up for my stocks.
Cool. We are joined by Brooklyn and Bailey and Dakota and Asa.
Yeah. Asa looks like he went to school for a while.
Thank you guys for being here.
Asa, do you game a lot? Do you play checkers? Are you like a master chess player? How many books have you read? 1,000? Nerd. Just kidding. It's good. He looks cool.
You guys made a long journey today, so we really appreciate that.
Yes, it's fun to be here. We're excited. Yeah. First podcast, really.
A little nervous.
You don't go here, dudes. It's about them. Okay. I'm snarky. I don't know them. They could be cool. I'm just saying that. I'm feeling snarky today.
Dakota not much of a talker. Concept of a podcast.
Shut up.
We literally just have a conversation, just kind of do we have it.
This is so long, so get ready for a long video.
Off camera, but not on camera.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect.
So for you guys who don't know Brooklyn and Bailey, they are YouTubers, TikTokers. They're on every social media platform. Entrepreneurs. You guys.
Stop saying you're an entrepreneur when it was your parents who pretty much They probably asked their parents to do it, but the parents like ran it probably. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. But being a YouTuber does not make one an entrepreneur. Okay? Entrepreneur, by the way. It doesn't. You're not an entrepreneur. But maybe like after they made their millions, they became entrepreneurs, maybe. That's what he's saying.
Own like 17 different businesses.
Also, just buying people's businesses doesn't make you an entrepreneur, okay?
It's super impressive what you guys have been able to do over the years. You guys just celebrated 10 years on YouTube, right?
Oh, let's see.
No,
yes,
14
we did
years.
Just 10 years. And I think altogether, our family, it's been
14 years.
15 years?
Yeah, it's been a long
Yeah,
time.
14 or 15 years.
So
for the
long we
family
can't
and 10
remember how
for
long
us.
it's been.
I'm not going to like these people already. I'm already just... There are so many people on YouTube who have no business with the follower count they have because they are not funny. They are just...
15 years.
I think that's the mark.
2009.
Yeah, 2009. Yeah.
That is...
So you guys.
So, like... this could be interesting to me. Like, how did you meet your husbands? Did they know you before? Were you famous? And then they, like, ran into you? Like... Are the husbands the gold diggers in this situation?
to be some of the first like kids that like started on YouTube that are like now adults.
I would say so, yeah. We call it like the second generation social media people. Like, we are probably one of the first, I would say. Yeah, we were the first. I remember when... obviously, we started on my mom's hair channel. And
Mom's hair... Oh, hair channel. She said hairy channel. What kind of channel?
And then Brooklyn and I started our own channel when we were 13, and we were
Okay, so they were exploited by their parents. Good to know.
the first second generation family to have 2 channels between the generations that all hit 1 million views or 1 million subscribers or something like that. Like some milestone, some very specific milestone like that. But
It's awesome.
yeah, we were there.
There's a lot of
He's like, it's awesome. I like don't have to work or do anything. It's great. We have a hot tub and stuff. It's great. And I like collect board games and stuff, so I don't have to really worry about it. I can just go buy whatever board game I want because I collect them in Pokemon cards and stuff too. Because people who collect Pokemon cards, weirdos.
Although, so I'm like, I
doesn't
can't exist anymore.
well, like that's such a big conversation nowadays. Like kids and social media. Like you guys can actually speak on it. Like
Yeah,
what was that
so
like?
true.
How do you view that?
It wasn't the same when we were little. I feel like because when
I don't. One person at a time. You have the exact same voice, and it's messing me up.
we were 9 was when my mom started filming videos, and it was literally like she was using a camp light. Like when you take camping, like a lantern. No, I'm serious. Literally
Okay, we got it. It's a lantern.
those handheld flip cameras that like don't even exist anymore.
Wait, the flip camera?
Yeah, camera. Yeah.
No.
That's crazy.
At one
This guy doesn't know anything. That's crazy. I don't even. Why am I here?
singular button, the record button.
Yes, I used to have one of those. I would make little action movies as a kid with the flip camera.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the fact that his legs aren't touching the ground is creeping me out. It's like he's taking a dump and he's like got his legs up in the air.
And so we would literally, I mean, when we started, like we said, it was nothing like what it is now. At the time, it was not to be on social media or to get famous or anything like that. It was a hobby. My mom was a hair blogger, and people just wanted like a more in-depth tutorial. And so she never showed our faces, never said our names. We were
Hey, that's awesome. Good for you. Her mom kind of must have known or something.
literally just hair models. Like,
Your kid?
just
It was the back of your head.
Back of our head. They wouldn't even announce our names. We were CGH1, CGH2, CGH3, like all the way down.
Whoa.
Until we were 13. So
So her looks like her parents followed the rules. That's great. I mean, that could be commended.
how many? I think it was 13. I can't honestly remember, but at some point we ended up
Impressive.
revealing our names. It was 13.
So I wonder, man, I'd like to talk to their parents now and be like, what do you feel about this now?
It was our first video was us revealing our names. Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
So was that for like privacy reasons to call you GDH 1 and 2?
Yeah, it was
GDH?
Shut up and get to the answers. It's not funny.
We did have 2.
Nerdy guy made a joke, but I missed it.
No, it was for safety. Like, my parents weren't sure what it was gonna look like and what that was gonna be, and so they wanted to make sure we were safe, and so they didn't say our names or show our faces for really
Until you're 13, you're still... I mean, I'm glad they did, but still 13 is not... You're not safe.
long time until years later, and then people were really interested in the family dynamic and stuff like that, and that's where it kind of morphed into more of.
And that doesn't bother anybody. People are interested in our family dynamic. Why are people, strangers on the internet, interested in other people's family dynamics and watching their family? Why is that such a thing? That is crazy to me. There are people just begging to look at other people's lives. Does that not strike anybody else as weird? Bring the asteroid!
Family related videos, but for a really long time it was like under lock and key, or never
Not the phrase.
No.
We really were. They didn't even know we were twins because you could only see the back of our head, and we looked so similar that people had no idea we were twins for the longest time until like there were two of us in a video one time and everyone freaked out. Was like, wait a second.
We thought they were the same person.
Oh my gosh, please!
Yeah, they've been tricked.
That still happens.
Don't stop giggling at stupid jokes.
So you're 13.
I'm way old.
Like, you start this YouTube channel. People know who you are now. They know that you're twins. I feel like there's a weird thing with twins too, because I feel like people just get super interested in twins.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And like
He's right. That's right. Look at my night. Look at all these people who have twins, and they put them on. Like, twins makes you more money, like double the money. People are interested in multiples. It's twins, triplets, quadruplets, whatever it is. Look at 8 Octomom, whatever crazy lady went. That's the only reason she's famous, because she had 8 kids. That's all she had. She was not talented. None of these people are talented. They just crap babies out. Like, babies! Pay me!
Fascinated by them. I don't know. I get that vibe. Like, how was that growing up with that channel? Like, when did it really take off? When were people
It was like 5 questions in one.
like recognizing you guys and stopping you?
Oh man, I don't know if I can. It's been so long. I don't know if I can even remember. But I do remember the night we launched our channel. My mom's hair channel had a million.
Why are her hands bigger than her husband's hands? I'm sorry.
Subscribers.
Okay.
So the night we launched our channel, like, we were refreshing the subscribers, and we were like 200, 300,000 subscribers.
In a day?
On the first day.
So
No.
it was a launch from an already successful channel.
it was
so
300,000.
It was, I remember, but it didn't go.
I
It
know it
grew
was
over
a
the
lot.
years.
Okay, they're gonna argue later and fight.
But yeah, it was a successful launch when we started it, because it started from my parents' channel, obviously.
No, that's insane.
Yeah, it was.
That's a
Dude, with the glass, don't say things. You're like, yeah, no, you don't know anything. You don't know this.
lot of people.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Maybe he's a gaming YouTuber or a
Yeah.
Twitch streamer or something.
I don't think we weren't doing it for the subscribers. We were just doing.
Why are these guys here? Like, why did they prank their husbands?
Yeah, because we liked
Share what you wanted to.
filming
Yeah.
our life, really, like book reviews and fashion, and just being 13-year-olds, you know.
Right?
I mean, our first
totally.
video, one of our first videos is like filming ourselves goofing off with our friends, making
Think you
up
did
a
a rap
song.
battle,
Like,
yeah.
we were not taking
The
it
kind of
seriously.
clips, the videos you were talking about that you made on like the flip
The flip
camera,
phone?
the
That's
like
what went
action
live.
videos, that's what we used to post.
That was what went live on that
And it was
channel.
going out to a large
Yeah,
audience.
you did not get that, I don't think.
Do you look back now and think of like, oh, we were just kids, or are you like actually embarrassed? Like you're like
It
that.
depends on the video.
Yeah, it depends on the day.
Some of them are pretty rad.
I'm like,
I don't know what they're saying.
ooh, that deserved to stay in the
It's cringe.
archives.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're embarrassed. So basically, what I'm taking from this is there are videos they are embarrassed of, but they could just take them down. So they're adults now, and if they didn't take them down, then they're honestly not that embarrassed.
Singing or something, we looked back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
there's a
did
few.
like a rap
I see why they're brother husbands, so they can carry the mics. That makes more sense.
battle with our friends, where we like
So
made
bad.
up something. And that was like our second video on the channel.
But good for these girls for getting on their 10 years and not having to go back and apologize for something they said 10 years ago. That's pretty cool.
It got posted, and I regret that one.
I don't know what you're saying.
Stuff, but that one I'm like,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
pretty
actually embarrassing, and
Yeah.
we
No.
probably shouldn't have posted it because it's so
That-
embarrassing. Sometimes I watch it back and I'm like very nostalgic about it because it feels so like, oh, like it was so no pressure back then, just put up whatever, and it was so fun, and so it's really nostalgic too. So there's very few that get us really embarrassed. There's a couple that are like, what did we post?
and
that?
your channel really is like a time capsule of every moment throughout your life. So,
And this is what a lot of family vloggers will say. And I actually don't mind this argument, right? Filming time capsule stuff. I love having the birth of my children, and I was stupid for posting that. I didn't realize it. Like, again, I've learned over the years how crazy this is. But I love that I filmed my children's births, right? And we did songs for them, and we gave them as gifts. We did songs for their announcement of their birth, and then songs for their births videos. I've done lots of capsule Christmas. I've done Easter. I have those, right? And I'm not going to post them on the internet. for strangers to see. But I like the idea of like, yeah, capsule videos. That is important. That's always been important since we've ever been able to capture it. The difference is when you make money on it and people get to follow that journey and strangers do and beg and pine for these videos. That's the difference.
So even that very first video was you just being a 13-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
You weren't
So,
trying to do anything.
yeah.
And when did you
Is
do
this
your
guy
first,
13?
like SWAT, like twin SWAT video? Those are
is that
so
on
funny,
me?
by the way.
Is that the first one?
Well, no, you
I'm
did
trying to think
restaurants.
all the way back.
No, I think the very
Is it
first
just
twin
drive-thrus
swap,
and stuff?
Yeah.
Like,
our very first twin swap was in college.
so that
And
was
really?
the one with me.
that was one with
you.
Asa. And
Okay.
Asa and
So she's been with this guy since college. I mean, good. Since before, I guess.
they were dating at the time, and we had a lot of friends in college, and we kind of come up with this concept, and it did so well. Like, first of all, half the people
I'm gonna take
did
credit
not
for
tell
that.
us apart, and Asa could not tell us apart.
Yeah.
So that's kind of blew the video up.
Yeah, you could.
Because Asa mistook me for Bailey.
Well, I literally quote said like, "Oh, I've known you guys for 3 years, and not a single time have I ever mixed you up." And I was talking to Bailey, thinking it was Brooklyn.
You're so silly.
People think that's scripted then?
It's scripted.
Because like that's
Yeah, it was.
No, they
Like,
know. We
if
don't.
you watch the video, you can see my face just drop.
Like,
Yeah, it's scripted.
brains on his face when he realized
That's like, you guys are niche the apple funny.
that he'd been talking like this, like confident talk.
We
when
also
he
never scripted
Okay, can
anything.
someone finish the sentence?
Like, our audience knows everything we put up is like what actually happens,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah,
I
don't believe it.
don't think anyone would ever assume that. And it,
I assumed it's fake.
Ace's face gave
I
it
did
away.
not expect it.
The
I'll tell you
drain
that.
of blood from his face gave it away.
Yeah.
So this is a question
I mean, you're literally identical, so you're the same person, basically.
for the guys. Is it not weird, like, to be married to someone that is a twin? Because, like, I don't
See, Matt's obviously gonna talk about the weird stuff that Matt has these thing. I don't know what you call those things, like intrusive thoughts that you're not supposed to put out to the public. He puts them out to the public. Like, is it not weird knowing that your wife's sister looks exactly like her and you know all of the parts like the same? Like, that's what he's trying to say here? Okay, intrusive thoughts that he puts out.
know. I'm like, I think Abby's so attractive, but if she had a twin, I feel like that would throw me off so hard.
See? Why does it have to be about the sexual part of things, Matt? You're a weirdo? Keep the thoughts in your brain, dude!
Yeah, but there's also differences.
Yeah.
Like, Abby's like, you idiot! She's probably trying to shank him under the couch.
Like
Like, he's giddy with excitement for this question, and it's creeping me out.
There's differences, and then I saw the video of you where you got
listen.
both got
They're setting up the scenario
Okay, I can't hear anything!
to purposefully trick us.
The whole concept of the video was to trick us, and it did work.
Yeah.
Did it work? Or these guys want it to, like, do you know what I'm saying? They're probably just like, yeah, they're gonna do it. Just do it, go along with it.
Listen, okay, I can.
So how big are those differences really?
Okay, what is he said? No, Matt. You didn't have to continue with the intrusive thought question. You don't look at the guy looking at Matt thinking, yeah, because he's a super nerd, right? And that's cool. He's a vanilla guy. Like, I'm a vanilla guy. I can recognize another vanilla guy. Right? He's just like, okay, stop. Like, stop.
Well, but you don't know to look for, right?
You got me there.
Yeah, see, Matt's just, Matt. Matt is an idiot. Look, I'm an idiot a lot of times, okay? Of course. But Matt's a bigger idiot.
Contacts with Dakota. We played a switching video. We swapped on Dakota when Dakota and I were married.
Like, let's make a petition to stop swapping things. Like, especially if you're married to someone. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You're married.
What if he says something or grabs your butt or your boobs or something like that, like husbands do? Like, what happens if he doesn't know it's you and does something inappropriate with your sister? That's kind of on you. That's not cool. And what is that going to make him feel like? Like, don't do swapping stuff, okay? Don't.
I just watched it today. I saw the one of you guys
And-
breaking him on the family trip.
Yeah. And Dakota mixed us up so bad he grabbed Bailey's booty.
Okay, that's what I just said.
Not my booty.
In the video, like, my face
And
just
freaked out when he found out.
See, yeah, exactly, and should be, because he's being tricked into something. That's not cool. I don't like. And a lot of people are like, well, the guy shouldn't care. It just gets extra booty. No, man. No, that is inappropriate that they tricked that. And I'm sorry, and I know I'm clutching pearls at this, but that's SA. That is a form of SA. I don't care. If you're trying to trick your sister's husband and think it's you, and you're like, they're intimate and they're like, that's what guys do and that's what married couples do, that's a risk that you're willing to take, and you might laugh at it, but he doesn't agree to that. So I'm sorry, and I know I'm clutching pearls, and I know it's not that big of a deal, but that hits me real. I don't like that.
I was filming it. I was kind of
Yeah, he was kind of mad, and he should be kind of mad.
not saying anything.
I don't know how you.
So he's filming it and not saying anything while this guy grabs his wife's ass. Do you guys think that's normal? That's what happens to you. That's YouTube. They don't care. They want the film. They want the footage. That's all that matters. And they're willing to do crazy stuff like this. That's super inappropriate, by the way. That's gross.
You like didn't laugh or
He
what?
was like, I was
That's
being
my
so
wife.
embarrassed that he was like getting mad. He was like, I didn't mean it. I literally was just dying. Like, I'm supposed to stay in character and act like I'm his wife, but I'm not gonna let him touch my butt. So,
But you did.
and then it was just a dead giveaway, and it was hilarious.
Is that how you found out to end it? You're like,
Yeah.
It is.
I was
oh my.
embarrassed.
I feel like there's a little bit more time.
Well, he shouldn't be embarrassed. But again, they're forcing him to do something, or tricking him, coercing him to do something. He shouldn't be embarrassed, but he is. And that's another form of like, don't do that, man. Also, they're the same person. So how is he gonna know? Do not trick people into doing that.
I feel like it went on
It's
for
over, the
another
video's
like
done.
15
It probably
seconds
did
though.
like the unraveling
Oh, I
of it
walked out of
always
the
takes
room.
a second. I remember he like grabbed her butt and she kind of shifted away, and he kind of looked at her like, why are you shifting
And then,
away?
like, just-
and then like did a double take and was like,
And then was pissed, and like he should have been.
freaked
So
out.
even on the butt grab, you didn't realize it right away.
No.
Because Abby,
They are the same person.
we have the same butt. Like,
Yeah, like exactly.
that's my point.
That's the Matt even says it. That's what I'm saying. Those are the questions I'm asking. That's what I want to know.
like they probably feel the same. they probably do.
See, this is the exact direction Matt wanted this to go.
That's probably true.
And this guy's uncomfortable with it, and he should be.
Growing up as a twin, like you grew up sharing a room, sharing clothes, all the things, so you see each other. I mean, naked.
See? You don't have to talk about this. Matt directed this flow of this conversation right to this. Is exactly what he wanted to know. Is this literally what you need to know about this stuff? Let's get to the other stuff.
Naked all the time, and you have the same body. It's true. You do have the same body.
That is crazy.
Nikki and Gabby actually.
Matt touching his wife's like, that's crazy.
Another pair of twins talked about this. Are they identical or fraternal? Are they fraternal? I don't know. But they're a pair of another influencer pair of twins, and they talked about this. They're like, people always ask, do we look the same naked because you're twins?
Why do people ask that? Stop. No.
The answer, if you guys are wondering, is yes. The answer is yes. These twins that are the same height as like we are. Identical twins. Our bodies look the same, but it's like our personalities that I think is what our husbands are attracted
Yours personality's the same too. So
to. So
Yeah, for sure.
that's
Personalities.
kind of what makes the difference. It's not like Ace is going to be like attracted to me.
I am uncomfort listening to this garbage.
And there are subtle differences in your features and stuff too, but it does come down to your personality.
Yeah,
for sure.
that's. Abby
Clearly.
was all her personality, completely why I fell in love with her.
Oh,
Abby's over there. Thanks for including me in the conversation.
Wait, that kind of sounds rude.
Yeah, see, Matt's like, wait, you're rude, dude. This guy doesn't know Matt, clearly. Why are you wearing so many rings? Not wearing all his rings today, but... No, Matt says what he means, okay? I'm sorry.
Like literally.
Sometimes I try to be funny and it just like does not work, and that was one of those times.
No, all the time you try to be funny, it doesn't work. And there are all of those times. All the time, Matt, that you try to be funny, it never, ever works. Matt is one of the most hated dude vloggers I've ever seen. His hate thread, everybody loves Abby. Even I'm a fan of Abby. I've become a fan of Abby, sort of, except her voice. But everything else, I kind of like. I kind of think she's like the most normal, probably the most can see, probably has most influencers and rich people don't really see their privilege and everything else. When Abby said that one thing about like seeing her privilege, I really it switched for me. But Matt doesn't see it. Matt is the most hated dude vlogger, and deservedly so. I mean, okay, Cole LeBrant, then Matt. Let's be real, but he's trying to be Cole LeBrant, so.
Or like, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
I obviously love your personality, but I think you're hot. So like,
Okay, quit digging the hole. Just take the L and move on, dude. Because this makes it worse.
that was part of it.
Okay, next. Stop sniffing each other's farts.
You got
Kira?
double whammy. Good for yourself.
Okay,
That's hilarious. No,
Next.
so it's so funny because I literally wrote down in my questions to ask you guys, have you ever accidentally like slapped the other person on the butt before? And then I watched that video and I was
You wrote the-
dying when I realized it.
Other than that, you're having.
You wrote this question down, did you? That's nice. I think I'm going to the video to see if he's got it in like oh, here we go. Accidentally grabbing my sister-in-law's booty. Then like 10 minutes later, the perk of being an esthetician, I don't care about that. Brooklyn and Dakota hiking Mount Everest, I don't care about that. Having twins is hereditary, I don't care about that. I'm glad I started YouTube as a kid. Okay, I might just have to skip to 42. I honestly, let's see what's next and then we'll skip to 42.
No misunderstanding.
I will
So
be
you've
careful
never gotten
from here
slapped in the
on
butt by ASAP?
No,
never.
never.
And like,
Yeah.
and it's never, and we never even like mixed them up. We never even mixed them up outside of a
Those
video.
twin swaps.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
never.
I just thought it was hilarious how your siblings all knew immediately.
Well, I mean, they're used
Even
to
my
our
buddy that
shenanigans.
was there knew all like immediately.
Yeah, they're all used to us, and they know when we're lying and like all the things. I mean, there were dead giveaways. I would say that some people are more observant, so they like.
Clearly not!
I can notice
I always make fun of Ace as like, dude,
camera
I don't
shy.
know how you fell for it, but I did too.
In their
so.
defense, they were really both of them were really camera shy when we
Yeah.
filmed it, and so I
Yeah.
think they were so hyper
Just focus on
focused
the
on
questions.
so hyper focused on like getting the questions right that I don't even think they were really looking at the person sending.
So, it was scripted. Good to know.
I have a question. That's why I was so nervous.
But yeah.
Yeah. No, I can relate to that whole story because last year Abby's dad slapped
What?
Abby's sister-in-law
Okay,
on the
no, you
butt.
can't put that on the podcast.
I think we already told everybody that. It's so funny. I don't know.
What?
It's just like it's a.
It reminds the most uncommon.
Abby's dad slapped Abby's sister-in-law in the butt? What? Why? Because he thought it was Abby? And why is he smacking his daughter's butt? What?
Yeah.
Don't put that on the podcast. She's right,
the
Matt.
same jammies, so he just got confused.
Yeah, that's
Okay, confused about what? That it was his daughter?
happened.
Don't put that on the podcast, dude.
His
My
uncle.
aunt and uncle, so my uncle put his hand down his mother-in-law's pants.
That's not cool. You guys shouldn't probably be saying this on the internet. These are people in your life that have not given you consent to telling their stories. But here's YouTubers don't care. These kids have been conditioned to give everything away on YouTube for money. And they think it's funny, and I don't think it's funny.
Not down
Your mother-in-law. That was so.
No.
They are like similar like physique, but yeah. he
Ever
just-
talk? Ever?
Why are you putting your hands down someone's pants around dinner time and stuff? Don't do that.
No.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
just all laughed it off,
Wait.
just like tried to move on with their lives.
I think we're talking about this on
And now it's on the internet forever.
podcast. If you had to choose, like, who would be the worst person to see you naked in your family? Because Abby was like, it would definitely be her father-in-law, my dad. And
Why do you ask these questions? That is so weird to me.
I don't know. I
Who would be
feel
the
it's
worst?
tough.
For sure, your dad.
yeah.
That would be, or your mom's partner. That would
Why?
be horrible.
Are you asking this question?
Either one of them.
Either
I
one.
actually think my father-in-law would be like a lot more chill about it than I think some of my brother-in-laws would be. I think I would rather my
Why are we listening? Why are we talking about this stuff?
We're not even kidding.
This doesn't even go here. Let's go to another topic.
This is gross.
Sorry, that was a weird question.
You probably get a lot of weird questions though.
They all have the same voice.
Probably just like so fascinating.
Oh,
What's
the
the weirdest?
DMs are wild.
Yeah, they're always crazy.
Like what?
Just the craziest questions, like about us and if we're alike in certain ways, if we secretly hate each other. Is there a mean twin, a nice twin? There's an ugly twin
Well, the one on the right and the brown is the mean twin.
and a pretty twin. Just like people say the wildest things
How can you be a pretty twin? You're identical. You're identical.
when you have someone to directly compare it to. It's crazy.
You guys just launched recently a drink place. It's called Sip City.
Yeah, so we launched
I don't care. Let's get to this other one. I can't do the whole thing, dudes. If they're just gonna yell and scream over each other, I can't do it. 42.
Are you glad that like you started when you were 13, or do you wish like you would have waited to do YouTube until you were say 18 or maybe 17? I don't know.
It's interesting you say that because
They talked about having twins is hereditary for 12 minutes.
just having a conversation with you about this the other day.
Yeah, this is a tough question.
I was saying to him, I'm really glad we started when we did because it's really hard to
Because we're rich.
break through now. I think it's a lot harder.
Not if you exploit your children, it's not.
But there are some like pivotal aspects I feel like we didn't really fully understand, like the big moments.
Informed consent. Here we go. This is good. I hope they get into it. They seems really smart. I like these girls. I know I'm making fun of them, but I honestly think that I hope that they give the right answers here. Well, the honest answers, not the right answers. About this is informed consent. Like, we were not fully understanding or aware of the magnitude. That's what I hope that's what she's about to say.
Yeah.
So like hitting 1 million subscribers, I just don't think we understood. We were in school. We were just filming for fun. Like, we didn't really understand the meaning
more
of
about
it.
homecoming than
Yeah, I cared way more about homecoming than I did about like the number of followers we had. And so there are
I don't believe you.
a couple big pivotal moments, like when we launched our mascara. We were, how old were we when we launched it? I'm trying to remember. 16 when we started at 16 and launched at 18.
How do you develop mascara? What? By the way, it's called lashcara, not mascara. And how do you develop that when you're a teenager?
And that's one of the things.
Like they were famous, so someone approached them and said, "Look, we've got this line of mascara." Basically, what they're saying, development. They went to a meeting, and these rich people who already had companies said, "Hey, we're gonna put your name on this lashcara."
where I'm like,
I'm gonna launch a product called Lashcara. It's gonna be the best mascara on earth, and I'm gonna make millions.
I still feel like I didn't fully comprehend like how amazing our launch was because we were so young when we did it, and now as like a 23, almost 24-year-old entrepreneur, I'm like,
Panure.
dang, like that was a really
Entrepreneur. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right.
good launch, and I don't think I really appreciated it in the moment. So
That's what you're worried about?
I'm glad we did it, but there are some things I wish had just soaked in a little bit more.
Abby went to your Stay ITK event last year. I remember right afterwards she was like, Matt, you've got to try these products. Like, the skincare is amazing. Like,
No.
I love the moisturizer.
Elephant's elbows is better.
I started using the moisturizer in the face wash.
That's what I like to hear.
And whenever I run out, I just go to Walmart. I literally do. And I'm like,
You
here.
can buy their shit at Walmart. Holy, they're rich.
Convenient.
Yeah, we love it. It's been really fun. That's been
You mean it's been really rewarding? You made a lot of money. Stop saying fun. You don't do anything. You just use your names. When rich people get rich and famous, right? The way they get more rich and more famous is like they get to use their name and just attach it to things. Do you think Ariana Grande actually makes perfume? No. She goes into a meeting and they're like, try this one. I like that one. Put it on the bottle. That's what they do. Okay? They get to use their likeness and sell their likeness. You don't actually do any real work. I need to clarify that for people.
our second product brand that we've launched because we have our mascara that we launched.
Lashcara. Okay.
This, our skincare line just came out last year. So, is that right? Yeah. Last year? Last year.
Whoa.
It's been so
Who cares?
much fun. It's
The question is about YouTube, right? I'm glad I started YouTube.
just like, we both have so much passion for entrepreneurship and building businesses and growing businesses.
Buying businesses.
It's what we graduated in. It's just so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
It's not fun. It's fun to make money.
the blast. I call us all serial entrepreneurs because it's like you just can't
Serial buy other people's businesses.
stop. Like even if you should, you don't stop. You just start businesses.
Yeah,
Like, as much as I hate Bella from Della Vlogs, she's an entrepreneur. Okay, she started her mom did anyway, and used her. But Owl, what's it called? The ugly necklaces, that's entrepreneurship. Buying other businesses and having businesses approach you to put your name on things, like the Kardashians, are not entrepreneurs. Okay, they just got famous from a sex tape, and then they get approached by businesses. Let's be real. Like Skims, she didn't make that. She didn't sew the first one. She doesn't know anything about that stuff. They just approached her and put her name on it, and she bought the company or something.
it on.
Yeah, it's like just one more.
That's so cool.
Do you guys find yourselves toggling between working a crazy amount and then not working at all, or because that's kind of how the boat I fall into. I really struggle
You fell into a boat?
just having a normal work-life balance. So as an entrepreneur, do you find yourself just doing crazy out?
Am I wrong? Entrepreneur? Sounds like manure. Entrepreneur. Right?
Or then you go too far and you're like, okay, I need to pull back. I need to take a break.
All the time.
Yeah.
I feel like we have surges of days where we're working
Husband's like, I just play games on the internet.
so many
Until
hours.
midnight.
And then a
Yeah,
week
it's like, I'm gaming.
where we just all I have to do is just post on social media, and that's the majority of what I do during the day. And then again, like I said,
That's nice.
weeks it goes in waves. I also think that's why a lot of people get really confused about like influencers and what that job looks like, because some days I really am just sitting at home, and then some days it's like 15 hours of like straight work. So it just depends
Not really work though. Just taking a picture of your ass is not work.
on the day. Is that how y'all are too?
Yeah, we've gotten better. I would.
Abby doesn't do much. Matt wants this all done, so he's doing it all, and she's happy to let him. And she doesn't really like this, but she enjoys the money.
Say at like having more time. Like
For me, like truly,
Oh, the voice.
social media is kind of like just my job. I'm very thankful for it. I'm very grateful for it. But for Matt, it's like his hobby also.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, I want to treat it like a job. I want to have like, this is my on time, this is my off time. Like, I don't want this to blend into my other time. And so that's why you've kind of moved towards like making it more like a strict schedule
No, he hasn't.
for us.
That's
Yeah.
how she is.
Yeah, I'm definitely more like
This was not the question. This was, I'm glad I started YouTube. This sucks.
See it as a job, and it overwhelms my life if I let it become more than that. So I tried really hard to set like strict hours and like, you know, like
Okay,
9
I'm
to
skipping
5
it.
if I can.
Skipping it. Sorry. I don't care about this business. And then it's like TikTok shop changed everything. I don't care about that. 5416. I think they decided to come on if they got to talk about their damn businesses. I don't care about that. I care about the YouTube stuff.
You should probably have whoever you marry sign them.
5416.
Your husbands are all.
Yeah, but we just.
He's like, I'm looking for a job.
He's like, hire me.
This is we had our husband sign prenups.
I have edited a handful of videos for them, and I mean, just help when I can and take pictures and stuff. But
He's
like,
he's in videos. You get paid to be in the videos,
Yeah.
I mean, you get paid to be her husband.
but that's about it.
Did you guys combine your bank accounts when you got married?
We did not.
No way.
Because she's a millionaire and this guy's a thousandaire.
Yeah, so this is very controversial, I feel like. But
It's not controversial. Just do what you gotta do. If you come into a marriage, like very one-sided, one's a millionaire, 100 millionaire, whatever, tens of millions, and then one has like nothing. Why? It's controversial. Like, just be smart. I mean, this day and age, divorce rate is up over 50%. It's actually smart. I'm sorry. I mean, some people would find offense to that. Then I just think that those people shouldn't get married. If you have offense to that, then it's like, okay, well, I guess we're not getting married. I mean, that's what I think.
actually,
okay.
I had him sign a.
yeah, we signed prenups. It's not controversial.
That's
Sign
not.
prenups.
Yeah.
Some people.
I mean, it depends. Don't sign prenups if you don't really have anything. If you guys are coming in kind of zeroed out, both of you. Like my wife and I got married not super young, but we weren't like wealthy to say the least. Like we had family help us with our wedding and our homes and stuff, and it was great. We had great help, but we didn't like, if you're equal coming into it, okay. If it's a little bit skewed, okay. But if it's like a millionaire and not a millionaire, I mean, get some advice, is what I'm saying.
it's a good thing.
Okay, but there's what I was going to say. So she says, protect your assets. Now, that's one thing you didn't have to say. I'm just saying you don't have to say that. Because what you're saying already is that I'm protecting my assets are the most important thing to me than my marriage. So she's like, I don't think this marriage is going to last. Protect your assets. That's exactly what it is. I know that that's what it means, but you don't have to say it out loud. Like, that's an intrusive thought type. Like Matt would say that. Okay? Protect your assets. This guy I can get a new one of these. Like, don't say that. Just because, especially when it comes to disparaging of money, I mean, that would make the other person feel bad no matter what. Guy or girl. If the girl's bringing all the money in, the guy's going to feel like a total douche when you say something like that. Protect my assets are more important to me than our marriage. Okay? The guy says that, he's a total douchebag as well. It's stupid. Just don't say it. It's kind of unwritten, but don't say it.
Yeah, it's a good thing for both parties.
No,
How's it a good thing for both parties?
I'm such a proponent.
Yeah,
Protect your assets.
we owned multiple businesses when we got married,
Yeah.
and I had a savings account, and my parents informed me, and one of
My
our
parents told me not to give my money to my husband.
attorneys, just told me, you should probably have whoever you marry sign a prenup just to protect
Yeah.
yourself. You never know; people can marry you for the wrong reasons.
Well,
That's true. I like that.
I
We've
had
seen
savings
it.
too.
I-
Yeah, I had savings. My grandfather gave me $25 check when I was 7. He's like, worth $400.
Honestly, we've
Yeah.
seen
Did you
it,
have her
too.
sign a
We've
prenup
seen
for you?
people-
Yeah, we both
Let's
did.
go.
Yeah,
Let's
so
do
we
it.
both did it. There we-
Yeah.
Yeah, but yours is where you don't have anything.
It's reverse too. It's not just a
Let's
one way
get it.
thing. It was a
It's true, because they could like take them for all they're worth too. It's true. Like if she's gonna get him to sign a prenup, okay, cool. But you're signing mine too, right? But the prenup also means like I'm not gonna sign something that doesn't like let me. Because if these guys are used to a certain way of living and they don't have to work, Just like the other way around, like when it comes to women who are married to very wealthy men, the prenups include money. Like if we get divorced, I have to give you $250,000 or $5,000 to $10,000 a month to continue on this lifestyle that we're leading. The prenup isn't just like you don't get anything. And if you sign something like that, you're an idiot, by the way. But like a prenup is beneficial to the person who's coming in with less. Because there's gotta be some benefit to getting divorced for the guy or the girl. Like especially if you're coming into a relationship where it doesn't require you to work a normal job, where the other person's super wealthy and you're gonna be traveling and living a certain type of life. Because of that, you're gonna have to say, well, I want to continue that after this. There's some semblance of continuity or whatever the word is, continuity afterwards. But I don't know. They're probably not gonna talk about what they signed.
He had me sign one, I had him sign one, but it was also, I don't want to say a test because that's not true. It wasn't a test. It was
That's exactly what it is.
real.
Yeah.
But it did show me he was in it for the right reasons because when I brought it up, like he knew very early into dating that this was going to be something that would happen. But when I brought it up, he was like, yeah, and? Okay, sure.
Wow. I mean, so it sounds like he dated you in college and probably found out quickly that you were pretty famous and probably didn't realize the extent of the money. Maybe he is wealthy. Maybe he's independently wealthy.
Sure, I'll sign it.
Well, I feel like if someone is going to be very like push back against that, then what is
It's
the
suspicious.
purpose? Yeah, like
Why?
that's
So it is a test. So you said it's not a test, but it's a test.
suspicious. So.
Why? That's my
Yeah.
question.
Well,
Why don't you want
Why? Because the other argument to the prenups are like, okay, then we're getting married. Everything we have comes together. And a lot of, I guess I gotta say, old-fashioned people think that that's the way to go. And it should. Like my wife and I have a joint bank account. She can spend whatever she wants. I can buy whatever I want. We don't have to like ask unless it's great. I do. I have to call from the camera store if I'm there. Like, okay, wife, but sit down, brace yourself, because I want a Sony FX6. But anyway, all that say is that, old-fashioned ways is like everything kind of comes together. If you are in this for life, like you say you are, like that's the other side of the test, right? Well, I don't want to be forced to sign this thing because it means that you don't trust me. That's what the other person might be thinking, right? So there's a communication to this all. I understand the benefit of it, but at the same time, there are going to be some people like, no, if we're coming together, I'm giving you my life and you're giving me your life and we're going to just combine everything and we're going to live together like that. Living separate lives inside of a marriage is a recipe for disaster. I think most people who sign prenups, and I would love to see the data on this, likely that marriage is going to end in divorce. I would love to see the data on prenuptial agreements and if the marriages have lasted. And not just because of the prenup, but because of who you are coming into that and the money and the wealth and the fame and everything else. That's, it's a different world for them, right? So there is an argument to be said that I don't want to sign a prenup because no, that's already mistrust right off the top. But the other person's like, look, I've got a lot to protect. I came in with all this. And there's a semblance of protection of things that you had before marriage for sure. Because marriage and divorce can get tricky and it can get really disgusting. I understand that too. So there's all nuance to this. You guys don't think I'm full of nuance. This is nuanced. But all sides, there is something to look at here.
Yeah, and also you can cater a prenup to be kind of whatever you want it to be. So, like, I think a lot of people's prenups will, like, expire after 10 years.
Yeah,
if your
ours
marriage
has
lasts
That's cool.
expiration date.
Oh,
A
it
certain
does.
amount of time, then it will expire, and at that point, then, if anything happens, everything is together.
Yeah, I actually like that idea.
So you can kind of cater to whatever you want to say. You can put clauses in it, so it's very, I think ours is, it doesn't have to be, I think
Did they edit out there? I think ours is...
there's a limited knowledge
He's got it like on a time countdown.
in, like, the community about what, like, a prenup even is.
and it's it's a stigma.
They cut that one out.
I think just, like, you should trust your partner.
Here's what happened. She said, I think ours is, and then their lawyer or the parents or someone said, cut that part out because they had to approve this video.
Or, like, getting married.
We're never gonna get divorced.
Like, I would never have my partner sign and I'm like, well, I came into the relationship with businesses I have to protect. Like, can you imagine if someone married you for the wrong reasons and they walked away with half of your business?
Yeah.
That,
I don't think they get your business, but your money.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
For their life. Yeah. For the rest of their life. Like, you never get that back. That's fully theirs. So,
Then maybe don't get married.
Yeah.
Because again, you're getting into a union together, and it's the whole point is to be like doing life together. And if you're not willing to give, again, this is just the argument from the other side. If you're not willing to give it all, like 100% equally into this marriage, then that's just a person that you just don't want to marry. Then if you don't want to sign a prenup, okay, I understand that. But and that guy's like, well, if you loved me, you wouldn't ask me to do something. That's crazy to me. I'm giving you my all. And so they're just not compatible, I think. It's just find somebody who's compatible, and it seems like they were.
it just, but he didn't even blink an eye.
Well, I think it does change things when you're like a massive YouTuber and you have
Yeah, we
like
built
all
ours
these businesses.
together.
Yeah, we
And you're marrying a poor.
had nothing when we got married, so
We
we're just
had-
like, oh, okay, we'll just sign the papers. We don't. Or
We can say what we made in 2020.
I think we made just shy of $12,000 together.
What the?
On YouTube?
And
Look at you. You're from a long ways.
we did not make very much money. Like
11 grand. Where did you work? Did you pick up dog shit at the park for free? I don't. What do you mean $11,000? That's not even close to minimum wage. Two of you, so you each made $6,500 for the year. Okay. How'd you afford anything?
You guys, when you got
That was
married.
just from social media.
that? No. This is
We
before,
made
completely
zero from
before social media.
and then in our regular jobs, we made combined
With that-
11,000.
that-
Again, what was your job? You work one day a month?
That 2019. It was 2019 or
How old were you
2018.
guys when you got married?
We were 20 and
I'm
21.
doing the math.
So you guys
because
were
that's
building-
Just got the math going.
even
You guys were
Like in
young.
college?
Yeah, and we
Like,
so we
I
had
think most
scholarships.
young
Our rent was
people are in
$500.
school,
Yeah.
and
Our rent-
like you're
yeah.
not.
So
you
rent
know.
for us was like $500 a month, utilities, all that. Like
Hey, well, you were making $500 a month.
all in, we were
For
under,
groceries a week, we never ate out. We spent $70 to $80.
we spent $75 a week on groceries, and we barely ate out. And then rent all in with utilities was under $600.
Oh, dang,
And then we had
that's nice.
scholarship. We went to
Live in a box?
a really cheap state school. We got
Yeah.
scholarships. So like we essentially were
Oh, you were in school. Why don't you just say that, dummy? You were in school.
going to school
I didn't make even $11,000. I didn't make any money in school. I was poor.
for free.
You were being
with-
smart.
with this guy because we
And-
wanted to get married young, so we knew like
also,
we just kept our expenses as low as possible.
Yeah.
But
Smart.
yeah,
we
I
lived
mean,
in low income housing.
and we were so happy because we had each
I'm
other.
saying that's exactly what
Yeah.
like the whole moral of the story is.
Yeah.
Money is not happiness. Like
Well, then why protect it? It's not your happiness.
Yeah.
Yes.
so be happy on.
But look what hard work
Look at you
did.
guys.
Look at this.
Yeah, it's kind of
It's not hard work, man. Stop saying, look what hard work did. It's not hard work. You got lucky in an algorithm. Stop saying being a YouTuber is hard work. Stop it. Unless you're like Hacksmith or you're doing physical labor for the video. It's not hard work. I'm not admitting it's not hard work. I sit down here, I do a video, it takes me about an hour and a half a day. I send it off to Tyson to edit it. This is the easiest job I have ever had in my entire life. I sometimes can't even believe that I make money doing this. And I'm like, this is the easiest money you'll ever make. It's luck. All of this is luck. Stop saying hard work, but that's what they'll tell you. And, oh, we're hard workers because we buy businesses.
And that's kind of like, I don't want to diminish the support of having, like, if something were to happen, we had family. We never took money from them, like, never asked for money, but we had them, and I don't want to diminish that support, like, what that actually means to have. But, yeah.
This question was supposed to be, we understand, okay, you're still,
Sometimes
okay,
when people say things, I'm like, oh, but do you remember? Literally 3 years ago, we're out here at Aldi, and we were saying no to $1 ice cream. I don't want to hear it.
So I bought myself my own car, and my brother had his car, like he just got it. And I remember he had repairs on his. I was paying for like everything for my car, insurance, everything, and he had a $500 like repair or something. And I found out about it, and I got so pissed at my parents. I was like, I bought my car, I'm paying for my insurance, and you paid for his, and like he got it for free.
Yeah.
But like no, we had their support though. Like if everything would have like blown up in our faces, I could have lived in my parents' basement and like had a place to live,
Yeah.
you know, and eaten their food.
Well,
So
where do you
I
fall
was
in the
fortunate.
siblings? Are you like an
He's the
older?
middle
I'm the middle kid.
Was
yeah.
this brother
That explains everything, actually. Jeez.
younger or older?
My older brother.
Oh, I
love you.
feel like as an older
We're
sibling,
very
I
close.
get that a lot. Where it's like my younger siblings are, you know, of course, like my parents are more strict with the older ones, and then like they loosen up as the younger ones come around.
Okay,
But I'm
get to the good
thankful
stuff.
For having to like work, because then it taught me everything that I know today,
You don't work.
and like I wouldn't be
And I
here.
look back on that time so fondly. It's not like it was
so
like,
thankful.
Yeah, Abby looks back on the time where it was simple and they didn't have to worry about the pressures of the internet and people make fun of her makeup and stuff like that, and her body and everything else. That's what she looks, and that she misses that and she wants that. Abby is smart because she knew when the good times were. I keep seeing this tweet and this people say, I wish we would have known when we were children in the 80s and 90s that this was the good times. Like these were the good times, the glory days. I wish we would have known. I that sits in my head rent free so much. I wish I would have known when my glory days were. I would have remembered them better.
we always talk, we're like, if we could just go back.
I'm glad my parents didn't give me any money to buy a car. Like I'm glad I had to do it myself because then it
Why?
taught me that work ethic. But
You can still have buy your kids a car and have them understand what It's good for money.
I want to ask you, Dakota, how was your reaction to that? Were you like, oh, frick, we're doing a prenup? Like, what was your interpretation?
I mean, it totally made sense because, I mean, I want to protect myself too, so.
Yeah.
These guys, like, you don't go here. I want to totally protect myself and my $1,000 I had in my savings account. Like, I totally, I had stuff to protect too. I have a Honda Civic, 89. Okay, like, I had some things. Timberland boots. I had stuff to protect, bro. Right? I had a PS4. So, like, it is hit and miss. She had $10 million and I had a PS4. I still had things to protect. Totally.
Didn't think twice about it.
Sorry.
So.
Yeah,
nope.
It's just like one of those, and like when you're married young, like my parents were married at 20, I think, too.
Wow.
Like they were in school and didn't
That's silly. Don't do that.
have anything. There was like, there's no.
Nowadays, back in the day, everybody talks about how, like, well, my parents were married at 15 and that was back when the houses were like one bedroom after the war. Okay, it was different back then. Don't get married young anymore. The world has completely changed. Those were the good days. You don't have that anymore. Can't be like, well, I worked for my grandparents. Well, yeah, they didn't have a telephone, man. Okay, they read their news 2 weeks after it happened. It was different back then.
Eat for it.
They had radios. Okay, there wasn't social media. It was just different.
When you're like starting at the same level, but when, like for Dakota, he got married a little bit older and had kind of established finances in a life and a business, and at that point for us both it made the most sense to just be like, what was yours before is yours, and what was mine before is mine, and what we build together is together.
Well, that means that any businesses, depending on their prenup, that any businesses made after the marriage is theirs too then.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think there's a weird stigma of people being like, oh, if you make them sign a prenup, it's basically confirming you'll get divorced, or
that you'll just never take care of them.
Divorce, and I'm like, no, that's not. It's like a worst case scenario. It's like having a will.
I agree with that.
Writing a will, you're not saying anything
But you gotta look at it from all sides.
bad's gonna happen.
But you are compatible with the person who agrees to that. So you found someone who's cool. Yeah, totally. I'm not marrying you for money, and that's a sign that you were looking for. Okay, cool. And if they're cool with that, then you find someone that works. That's cool.
Then it's just there just in case.
Maybe a prenup could be romantic.
It could be romantic.
No, it can't.
I noticed, what I wanted to ask about too is you guys didn't take, like, you obviously traditionally the wife takes the last name of the husband.
Oh,
you guys didn't take your husband's last names, right?
No.
Obviously, they're YouTubers. They've got a brand to protect. And that's another thing that makes this kind of like, ugh. If it's all about your branding and everything else, and you want the traditional side of everything, then okay. But just all these girls had to say is, we're not traditionalists. We don't care about tradition. Traditions be damned. We don't give a crap. Our husband's signing prenups. We're not taking our last name. We got brands to protect. But what that shows me is that your brand and your money and things you're bringing into the thing, that matters more than anything. That is, to me, all that shows me is that matters more than the love, the relationship, and the marriage and everything else. And there is no other way to put it. But that's okay. I'm not saying that's bad in a way. I'm just saying, just admit it, right? Because that's all of your actions are saying that thing. And all their friends, if they have any, think that they're that they're a bunch of betas.
So actually, we hyphenated, so we both took each other's last names.
Okay.
Still weird.
That's cool.
You don't see that a lot.
No, it was
No, because it's weird.
really uncommon, and when we talked about it, like we got mixed reception about it, but I
Yeah, we love it.
I don't care. I have a brand.
don't really care. I'm like,
Yeah.
I wanted to keep my last name, he wanted to keep his, but I wanted us to be like a family unit.
Yeah.
And give
Wow. Okay. I mean, your last name is still a dude's last name.
our kids the same name.
Yeah, so we're the McKnight Howards.
That's cool.
That's not cool.
Howards.
Yeah.
Howards.
Yeah, we're actually,
We're family.
we're family.
Probably.
Asa is actually my brother. He's here today.
We do get a Howard Roll picture at the end of this.
That's cute.
It's definitely untraditional for
And
sure.
you guys didn't hyphenate.
Non-traditional.
We didn't do anything. Not that, like, I love his last name. His last name is really cool. Blackburn is his last name.
That's cool. Black last name.
Whoa, okay.
But I also love McKnight, and part of me is like the oldest daughter. I'm sure.
Just tell the truth. Stop making shit up. I mean, part of me is like, hey, like, you have a brand. You are known by Bailey or Brooklyn or whatever your name is, McKnight. That's it. Like, your business is registered that way. All your entrepreneurials are all registered. It's a brand. Just say, look, we're YouTubers. It's a different world. That's the way it goes.
Really feels a little bit of this
Stop trying to justify it. That's what makes me more upset.
For a long time, we didn't have any boys. Like, it was just the 4 girls before we had Dax. And so I
Dax
didn't know if the McKnight name would even get carried on if all of us took our husband's name. So, obviously now we have a brother. And
so no, again, it's just this whole world. That's why it's completely different, right? All the tradition is out the window. It has completely changed the way that families are formed, the way things are done. Typically, the woman takes the man's last name. That's just the way it's always been, just since time. And now they're like, "Nah, I want McKnight. I want my kids to have me." Like, what? Who cares? But the Blackburn name now, if that's something that is special or whatever, has some. I can kind of understand this. Like, this is what has completely changed in the world, and I don't care either way. I'm just saying. It's the one who comes in with the most, who has the most, gets to make all the decisions in these marriages, right? They have brands to protect, they have their names to protect, they have their fame to protect, they have everything, and the guys take a back seat to it all. But you found guys who are willing to take a back seat, so more power to you.
The name can be carried on, but there's a part of me that still is like, my degree's in my last name, everything is in my...
So? Your degree doesn't change when your name changes.
Last name, like...
Someone's in there looking at your degree. This degree has a different last name. We're not doing business.
There really isn't any reason for me to change it.
But there is reason for you to keep it. Like you just said, you wanted to keep your lineage going. So just say the things.
And Dakota didn't particularly care.
I forget all about it.
Yeah, he didn't care. I wouldn't care either.
We really don't have any issues with it. The only hard part will be like when we have kids, obviously, like deciding on the last name that we're gonna give our children.
Well, I'll tell you how it's gonna go down. They're gonna get your last name because that's what you seem to care about. And he's just like, whatever, I get to play video games, I have to work.
But I think at that point, we might just not give our kids a middle name and just do both last names.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually...
But which one comes first? It's gonna be Blackburn McKnight or McKnight Blackburn. It has to be Blackburn McKnight. It sounds better.
Really good idea.
Yeah,
Interesting.
But it's not a last name.
They're open and everyone can do whatever they feel comfortable with,
Thanks for your permission.
Yeah. Again, we were both adults and it was like, I didn't, I like my last name, he likes his last name.
Yeah.
Oh, so neither of them changed their last name. He didn't take hers.
Yeah. And what have you guys decided, or have you not decided what you're
Our
going to do?
kids will be McKnight Howard.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so Howard's last. Okay.
Okay, that was a really dumb question.
Let's back it up.
I wish you would have asked, like, when you have children, are you going to bring them on the internet? You're going to do children on the internet? That's a good question for these two.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, I don't know about middle names. They'll probably just be long name.
I grew up with 4 names.
Whoa.
4 names. Both of my, it's really weird. It's like kind of foreshadowing because all of my best friends growing up all had 4 names. Everyone I knew had 4 names.
So weird.
It's a very southern thing to be like. Yeah, like my best friend in high school had 2 first names. My best friend in high school had 2 last names. He had 2.
Let's get to it. I don't care anymore. 119. We'll get into the stalker stuff. This is the most important stuff. Growing up on YouTube. Here we go.
Depends on the situation.
So the reason I really wanted to cover this was because of this question right here. I'm going to talk about the stalkers. And they're about to probably get open, and there's probably stories I won't tell you, but I need you to hear this stuff because this is the real stuff. As much as they're happy with it and they make tons of money and they're super uber wealthy from it all, they seem to be normal-ish, right? Except some of the weird stuff. But they didn't have a terrible experience, but they're about to show you the experience. But I want to tell you this before they get into the story. They got lucky. What's going to happen when someone doesn't get lucky? That's the next thing. Okay, so hear this.
Recently, you guys brought up on, I think, TikTok about a story of you guys dealing with a stalker.
Yeah.
And that freaked me out because we've never luckily dealt with a situation like...
Again, see, luckily you've never. But when it does happen, and it will, that's when things will change. You guys all got lucky.
Talk about that, because that's really scary.
Yeah, so for the people listening, I guess, that haven't seen it, I talked recently, and really, to be honest with you, we've never spoken openly about stalkers. I'm not sure why. Maybe because I thought...
don't know either.
It's because you wanted to protect your brand and you didn't want people to know that it's dangerous to be in this world. But I wish more people would speak openly about this, because then maybe people would change their mind about putting their kids on the internet. More people need to speak openly about the problems you've had so that people can be like, okay, well, that exists. But all these people keep it like an inside secret. They keep it close to their chest because they don't want you to know. I understand, too, to agree why you don't want people to know, but dang, at the same time, that's some real danger.
It would bring more or invite more problems.
Yeah.
Safety. Yeah. So there was never, I don't know, I just never felt comfortable talking about it. And then just one day I sat down to film a Get Ready With Me and I just just for some reason decided, I was like, okay, like it's been 6 years, I'll tell this story. But I had a guy who was following me for a really long time in high school, and just got to a really creepy level where he showed up at my house and was like trying to get in, and was sending me letters at my home, and paid money for my address, and showed up at my school.
That's an Avamagerie story right there.
And so eventually we moved and changed my phone number, and like
You had to change your phone number because of a stalker online. Now, this is it, guys. I need you to hear that. I need you to really focus in on that, because people like Everly LeBrant, people that are young on these channels, they have stalkers. I don't care. Especially as they get older and grow up, the people that grow up, there's going to be stalkers, because there are. There are predators on the internet looking for these kids. These people had someone so close that they had to move. There are stories like this in almost probably every single instance of family vlogging where there are children who are famous on the internet. Okay? That they will never tell you it, because they don't want you to know how dangerous, because again, we're going to hear about it in the news someday. Someone's not going to get so lucky. No, someone's not going to move in time. Someone's not going to change their number in time. But they literally had to physically move to a different place because of a stalker. That's what comes with the fame. That's why informed consent matters so much. Because those kids, if they actually knew, if you realize, hey, in 10 years, there's going to be a guy that's going to come to your house and shoot the door off your house with a shotgun and try to kill your family. Do you agree now to continue on this path knowing that will happen? Who would say yes? Right? And that's why informed consent matters. Because you do not know the outcome or what's going to happen. And that's why kids shouldn't ever be on the internet, because it could. And they will never be able to give informed consent, because you will never know what's going to happen, the dangers that will happen, the people who will stalk you, the people who are looking to hurt you. And again, with the emergence of AI, the people who are going to look to blackmail you with that stuff. I'm sorry, it's coming down the pike if you're on the internet.
Heard from him again, but
And this was just you, Bailey?
yes, and I don't think people understand, like, just because we're twins doesn't mean we're not targeted individually.
Yeah,
it can totally happen.
We've had 2 really bad stalker stories. One was focused on Bailey, and one was focused on me, and we've not really had anything outside of those 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
That you know of.
most of the other ones are pretty, like, a couple of their squabbles, but minor, and then we had 2, like, really
So there's more.
major,
Actually showing up.
like, scary situations.
Yeah.
So you saw them in person?
I did for my guy. I did on, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 occasions.
Jeez.
He would just show up everywhere we were. That's why we were seeing him all the time.
Yeah, because you were famous. And again, this is another reason to not do this with your children. As an adult, I can make the choice. I get recognized in public. I understand the dangers of it all, okay? And what comes with it. People want to take a picture with you, want to say hi. I get recognized here and there once in a blue moon, right? I don't like it, but it is what it is. I understand it, though. Like, I get it. That's kind of part and parcel. My haters, part and parcel. That all comes with this. It's part of the universe. You know? If you don't have any haters, then you're not growing your haters. You're not really growing at all. But that's all part of it. It's a big part of it, and I consent to it because I know I can protect myself. My kids can't. Your kids can't. Family vloggers' kids cannot consent to this. And if you're not having honest conversations with them about stranger dangers, and you're not, then you're doing them a disservice and you're putting them in danger, because you don't want to tell your kids that, because you want to scare them. But some people, like Asa Moss from Fathering Autism, takes his daughter to like meet and greets at Dunkin' Donuts and stuff like that. Okay, I'm sorry. Don't ever do it. When you're being stalked because you are famous, that is against your consent. You did not sign up for that. And if you knew about it, would you have signed up for it? Probably not. And these girls sound like that's something that was very terrifying. Okay? And so that's just one more reason to be safe. Then it's one more reason to take the safer route. Right? Making money and stuff, that's all great. But again, when someone isn't going to get so lucky, that's what we're waiting for. And that's the only time things are going to change. But if parents were smart and they heard these stories and they were told these stories, even in like, if these girls message other influencers, like, look, just so you know, this is what happened to us, don't do it. More people need to come out with these horror stories to scare the living crap out of these people who are exploiting the children. I showed you a video with Jess Fam where I cloned her voice in 10 seconds flat. And I made a message and it sounded exactly like her. Okay, it is getting way more scary than it ever has been before, especially for famous kids. Okay, so when you see it and you tell you the stories and you hear about it and you know it exists and you still put your kids in that kind of danger, I question who you are as a parent, and I'm allowed to.
Because it was like, it quite literally stalking. Like, it was like where we were, he was there. So that's why she saw him so much. But the hard part is like, police like
A
to
law
file a
enforcement
restraining
has to have
report,
certain things
Wow.
in order to get involved. And
I
it
tried.
wasn't- and they like told me I had to have a recording of myself telling him to leave me alone, and then he had to
That's crazy.
physically show up again
Oh my
after, and
God.
they had to leave me alone to get a restraining order.
property.
Yeah, it was like a whole
Okay,
list of
there were, like,
things.
so
What do
many
people do though?
stipulations.
Because like,
Again, see if so all they're doing is making it more telling that you shouldn't be doing this. Because if it's that hard to get a stalker to leave you alone, then why would you want your kids to be a part of that, to have stalkers? Why would you want that for your kids? Now, I know you don't want it. Parents are gonna be like, I'd love my kid to have a stalker. That's not what I'm saying. But when you put them in this world, when you exploit them and you make them famous online, that is a very, very real possibility. I guarantee you, at minimum, every single family vlogger and every one of these children who have their own social media accounts or had one made for them or are on social media have had a comment, a DM, or something even more scary personally towards them. All of them. Probably multiple, if not thousands of them. Okay? And so why would you not just be safe so that you can't be sorry? They don't. They would rather take the risk. That's everything you need to know about family vlogging. They would rather take the risk because the money matters more than the potential of the safety of it all. And that's all you need to know.
that's you already had that altercation, so I guess if people listening right now ever have a situation like that, you should take a video, because then that
video
can
yourself
First time.
immediately.
The
Immediately?
first time.
Okay, 'cause-
And say literally the words say, leave me alone. I have
do
no
not
interest
want
in seeing
you
you.
here.
Okay.
And then if they show up again, it's like, but then again, this was 6 years ago, so maybe
Okay.
it's different now. I'm not sure. I was also 17, so
Yeah.
I couldn't even remember probably properly, but that's what I remember how.
And you don't have your parent. Where is everybody? Someone's protecting you.
He's like, we had to get a recording of him, and
Wow.
by the time
I would
we
just
got the
tell anyone
recording,
that's in
never
a
showed up
dangerous
again.
situation,
Record it, even if you're feeling uncomfortable. Just record everything for evidence
Yeah.
purposes. For like, and then if you ever feel like someone is stalking you, get a very, very, very clear recording of you saying, "I do not want you to."
Ask these husbands what they feel about that, about the dangers of this. And again, I can't believe they missed this question. Are you going to bring your kids that you have onto the internet?
Follow me. This is against my
Will. Okay.
Yeah. And then at that point, the police can get more involved. Because like at that point, you've directly said, "I do not want." Well, and I think at first we just, I don't know, but in my memory, it was like when it was happening, it wasn't registering as big of a deal as it now feels. If
Yeah.
that makes
I think
sense.
there's a lot of things that happened to me in high school
Yeah.
that I'm like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
What? That was
I
crazy.
know.
We were just talking about that. What were we talking about? Things when that's why it's kind of scary, even, like, so many things, like having teenagers, like, your view of perception is not,
View and perception, the same thing.
your view of reality
Yes.
is not trustworthy.
Yeah, and like you're just like, like that's
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why you shouldn't have your kids on air. It's anything. They're just piling on to the reason you shouldn't have your kids on the internet, because kids are stupid. Teenagers are stupid. They're admitting it out loud right now, but that's not what they're meaning to say, but I'm catching it. Kids are dumb, so why would you put your little ones on there?
I was like, I was scared. Yeah, like there's a guy stalking me, but not to a degree. I probably should have been like, the first time he showed up, I should have called the cops. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I should have been way more intense about it. But at the time, it just,
And where are your parents in all this?
I don't know, it just didn't register. I don't know what.
Teenage brains.
I thought maybe it was a one-off scenario.
well, yeah, there's a lot of things you could also explain away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you did get a restraining order though, eventually.
No,
oh,
I
you
never
never
did.
did.
Not
So
with
we
her
got
stalker,
the
no.
recording of us saying, leave me alone. And
Okay.
then he showed up at my school, but not within a physical, like, it's really hard to explain, but
Okay.
basically, like, not enough to get a restraining order.
You got a restraining order?
Yeah, so, well, sort of.
What do you mean, sort of?
This one's a very complicated story. I'll give you the general details. There was someone in our DMs very obsessed with me, particularly with my virginity. And, like,
What?
another teenage boy, and eventually it got heated to the point where he figured out where we were going to church.
As soon as that comes into conversation, and that is out in the internet now, a guy was obsessed with your virginity. And because, do they know about your virginity? Did you put that out there into the public? Now, I'm not victim. You guys might, oh, you're victim. I'm not victim blaming. What I'm saying is that be careful with what you share, because the creepers who are out there have weird things, and they're going to come after this, especially children. Like if these types of guys who we know exist, we all can admit that these guys exist on the internet, okay, in the world. They are stalkers, they are predators, and they all exist. And when you're giving every bit of information in detail, if you're showing your feet, if you're showing your teeth, if you're going to the dentist, if you're going to the doctor, if you're showing your scars, if they know every intimate detail about you, they're just giving them more ammo. Why would you put your kids into a situation where potentially some predator could know more about your child than they should? That's every single time you film your child in any of these types of videos. That's what you're doing every time.
When I was in college and showed up there and kind of camped out the parking lot and then threatened to do a lot of dangerous things if I didn't see him. And anyway, I had to get police involved, and that he did actually get arrested on site, and they put they found him, and then they put an arrest on site for like my school campus and my church. So if he ever came back around, they could arrest him on site. So kind of like a restraining order, but not like for me personally, just more the area, because he did threaten to, do some dangerous things in the area. So
now, the question I would follow up was, so then is it still worth it? And if they say yes, then okay. At least you had, now as an adult, you could say, yeah, it's still worth it. Would you repeat, if you knew that was going to happen again, would you have done everything? Would you have said the things you said to do all that? Yeah. And if you say yes, I'm going to question your sanity, but okay, at least you're honest. But like, knowing that, again, my other follow-up question would be like, now you know all that. You know that these guys exist. You probably had multiple DMs about your sex life and blah, 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 and dudes sending you pics and wanting to know about your virginity and blah, blah, blah. Would you now, knowing what you know, bring your kids into the same type of environment you grew up on YouTube? Would you do it? I would love to know the answer to that.
Yeah, that was one where I have like a case file of like all the information about him, his car, his license plate, everything that I still have. And for some reason, like I'm still sitting here like nervous to talk about it for some reason. Like I'm still like, oh,
because it is scary. That is scary. That's a healthy fear. Okay. And again, if that's a healthy fear and it's a legitimate concern, why do people put their kids in this danger?
What if this has like repercussions or something? But
it will.
You know what? This is the reality. This is what happens to us. Here you
there
go.
You go. And is it, again, the next question, is it worth it?
So sorry.
No, I mean, I'm just grateful that considering the career and the length of the career we've had, that it's been so minimal for us, and I had no direct contact with my dude.
What can people do to like protect themselves at that?
Do you really want to know the answer to this, Matt? What can people do? They can mitigate the exposure they have of themselves on the internet. That's it. I'm sorry. When it comes to online stalkers, parasocial relationships, there is only one answer here. Don't expose your children to the internet. The end.
Other than do a recording if there's ever an altercation to show to the police.
Yeah, don't post where you are publicly, like IRL.
Don't post your whole life.
Don't
IRL.
show license plates and addresses.
Don't hand out personal information like phone numbers, emails, anything. Also,
should be doing that anyway to anybody, famous or not.
I would say listen to your gut, because even when you're like, because it's so, especially I feel like as women, you dismiss it so often. You're like, oh, I'm making it up in my head, he's not really following me, or oh, I'm like in the grocery store and that guy kind of looked at me weird, but like, no, he's not doing that. Like, I would say follow your gut. If you're feeling uncomfortable, remove yourself from the scenario. I do now. Like, in the moment when that guy showed up the first time, I just had like, I mentioned it in the TikTok, but I just had like a sick feeling, like sick, and I'd never seen this man, never talked to this man. I just had a sick feeling, and sure enough, it ended up being pretty bad. And so now, like, I don't even question it. I don't even stick around. I'm like, I'm out. And even, like, I think we went to a movie one time, and I was like, I'm out. I'm leaving. I don't feel good. I'm leaving. Like, we were at a restaurant one time. I'm like, we're out. We're leaving. Like, just random scenarios. I'm just like...
Well, they signed up for it, too. The husbands have to deal with that. I mean, I'd be like, who? I'll keep my eye out for you.
Sorry, 10 out of 10 times, like, what's the half a movie gonna cost you versus, like, if something happens? Yeah, I listen to that.
That's really good advice.
Rich people, what's the movie cost? Like $400? Like, it's nothing. Let's just go.
I love that you can trust your
internet safety, ladies and gentlemen.
You're not. No, here's the real answer. I know you're laughing it off. Like, if you're feeling sick, just leave. No, here's the real answer. Don't exploit your children online to predators. Don't give that to predators. Keep your children safe by keeping them off to begin with. If you would have said that, I would have had utmost respect for you. Here's how it all started. We wouldn't have gotten into this situation if we weren't exposed online, if we didn't have this channel, if we weren't famous. Don't be famous. That's it. Don't expose your kids to this stuff. That's the answer. That's the root of it all.
Practice internet safety.
By what?
Well, you guys, it's been a pleasure speaking.
Yeah, that's it. That's enough of that garbage. Anyway, it's a long one. I knew it was going to be. Anyway, very interesting video. They're very intelligent. I like them. They seem to have their heads screwed on straight. They don't seem to be, starting OnlyFans and doing all this craziness that you seem to see these people doing. They seem like they had probably smart parents, because initially, right off the top, hey, my parents kept us protected till we were 13. Kudos to their parents, right? But telling the stalker story and everything else, and they're nice, but at the same time, and there's like, okay, I gotta have a prenup, so my husband can't take my money, and I think there's a bunch of stuff in there that's kind of like, but overall, good. I'm glad they told that story, and I'm glad they have 7 million followers. That's a pretty big influence of, hey, but imagine they sat in front of people and said, look, just don't expose your kids to this stuff. It's dangerous. That would carry way more weight than me saying it. So I wish people would do that more. And until, again, something really does happen, we're just waiting for that moment, and it really sucks. So, but that's a decent video. Everybody, take a deep breath. Weirdos. Matt, you're such a weirdo. Stop asking the weird questions that are in your head that should just stay in there, okay? Just stop being weird, weirdo face guy. But you guys aren't weird. You're amazing, incredible, and you are valuable. I thank you for being here. I thank you for being a part of this, and you're just some kind of something. I will see you when I see you.